Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your magical moon message. This is the Peace Dealer, Sun and Moon in Virgo. And I don't know what else to say. This is the supernatural activation of your new lifestyle that you may or may not have known you've been waiting for at a deep subconscious level, which is 6 months plus more in the making. See, every Pisces season, we have, of course, the cycle of activating new beliefs, right? And those beliefs make way for new habits that we become aware of 6 months later in Virgo season. And during Virgo season, we now integrate these new habits, and those new habits make way for new beliefs Pisces season. And in between, we have new thoughts in Gemini, and we have new visions in Sagittarius, and that is the mutable axis of magic. And so we are back again, 30 years in the making. Saturn actually in Pisces this time. Neptune, which has taken, I think, about 180 years, or at least since the 1800s. It'd be actually interesting to research this. I think when Neptune last was in Pisces was when the United States became a corporation. So this is something to think about now that it's back around, and you never know what might happen this time. But yeah, that being said, we are here. Okay, forget Virgo. I apologize. Can you believe the new moon in Virgo? I'm up on this magic moon message, looking crusty AF. Didn't even brush my hair. Out of bed, eye crusty. That's a disservice. Virgo, as much as y'all been showing support, I should show up on point, clean, and that's definitely an intention. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Moving forward for this new moon, and the way I'm gonna show up, at least to I'm so the Aries in me is like, I don't know about that, but like, no, I might as well. It is definitely worth it. Y'all do be coming through. Anyway, yes, new habits, new behaviors, but a new life. Okay, the culmination of all your beliefs you've ever had, especially since 2010 when Saturn was in Virgo, coming into Libra, crystallizing so that this can give you more wherewithal to activate these new behavioral patterns relative to a totality of awareness of every single imagination and belief that constitutes and influences your habits. Needless to say, this is not only a new life, but with Saturn and Uranus in Taurus, or Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus, Jupiter in that ninth house position to the sun pushes forth the wave or the strength and quality of this new cycle in the most supernaturally noticeable ways, to where the extra dimensional energy of Uranus can not only be physically sensed, but you have more grounding and footing to push forward. The new moon like this we haven't had since 2011. Okay, you want to go back to 2011, but even 2011, Uranus was still just barely entering Aries. So this is going to be so much more unique. Expect sudden awakenings. This is where you come into a new life cycle every year. But relative to the planets that we have here, the quality of how this is going to spark is going to bring instant changes, sudden awakenings. It's going to make you aware of how the dynamics throughout the past few weeks have been playing out. And it's going to give you throughout the next week a look into people's behavior and changing the way you have seen them because of revelation about their behavior. Okay, you might have seen, and this goes back into the heel turn plot changer, you might have seen, or plot twist, you might have seen elements of someone's character. You might have seen somebody with certain people, and so you think they're a certain type of way, but then you see a glimpse of their behavior and it starts to make you think, wait, if that's the image of them in my mind, they wouldn't behave like this. Maybe I had this person wrong. Maybe this person is different from what I thought, for better or for worse. Where you're seeing attributes in their behavior, just like people will be seeing in your behavior, stuff that makes them like you more, stuff that makes you like them less. Doesn't matter whether people like you or not. It's going to really align how aligned your behavior is with your authenticity. And what's even more wild concerning this really goes into at length, I would say, the importance of how uniquely you're in this position as well to very, 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 very powerfully and very, 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 very mystically come into this guidance through what will appear like things coming out of thin air. See, what you've been doing, especially really for years, but especially since we started this Virgo season, is you've been holding imaginary space, whether you know it or not, whether you're reinforcing good habits or bad habits, you know what I'm saying? Good thoughts, bad thoughts, the program. This is where the programming you did Gemini for your spiritual intelligence. You know, there's AI. Well, you have spiritual intelligence. Fuck AI. You can program your own brain to access information in an unlimited intelligence cloud. AI's limit is it can only gain everything it's been programmed into it. So it's modeling the intelligence of humans. Your spiritual intelligence comes from God, B. So like you can program your spiritual intelligence based on what you keep thinking. That's what you did Gemini season. If you programmed it with negative thoughts, you're going to see horrible behaviors expressed. I don't know what to tell you. You had Virgo season to change what you did Gemini, but if you programmed it with positive or efficient thoughts, you're seeing this effect through your behavior. That's how the science works, right? So this is really cool because relative to this spiritual intelligence, this is now able to have you integrate this programming in not only the way you live your life, but whether you are aware of how you've been doing this, you've been holding imaginary space by behaving as the person who, of course, experiences what you've been holding space for. And it's a lot of this is gradual. This is a subtle effect. And so that's why, like out of thin air, is just going to appear. But it's not coming out of thin air. Some of you may not even be aware that you've been holding space long since before you knew you even wanted to bring this into your life. And that's how these dynamics are going to really cycle off as they get sparked. The first part of this transit is going to be the pre-new moon ending the balsamic phase, because of course we're going to have the new moon at the end, final degrees. So this is really going to inspire, once again, a whole lot how uniquely, if anything, you're not only just in a position to influence the quality and nature of what old beliefs you're releasing or old habits, but it's also getting ready to adjust the camera focus of how you perceive reality in light of, relative to the oppositions of Saturn and Neptune, now incorporating more of what has always been there, but you may not have had the understanding to perceive. Similar to how your subconscious mind will filter out more of what it processes so your conscious doesn't get overcluttered. This is what's been happening to you in the form of your supernatural abilities, gifts, and just elements of your own habits that you have trained yourself or have been conditioned through grade in high school to not see as anything significant. Unless you're a weirdo and you didn't listen to them and you kept doing it, turns out you were actually the genius the whole time, because now you don't have to unlearn what you learned. You kept your gifts with you. Regardless of whichever place on the spectrum you fall, this is still going to be hyper accelerated with these transits, especially notably that opposition with Saturn. That's going to anchor the integrity of your beliefs so so that this begins to start to materialize in your reality, literal dreams. That's the axis, especially if you're North Node Virgo or even North Node Pisces. Pisces to Virgo is heaven to earth, heaven to earth. We're bringing our imagination into reality through our habits from the understanding of our thoughts, 4th house Gemini, and of course the peak vision, 10th house Sagittarius. So yeah, I'm spitting bars. So with that being said, y'all, this is going to initiate a brand new cycle of habits and a lifestyle direction that over the next 6 months is going to see your life change drastically, because we have the strength of Jupiter, the king of the gods, and Hades, Jupiter's grandfather, according to Greco-Roman myth. This is what's going to spark this off quite instantaneously, and you're going to really experience a very unconventional surge of how quickly sudden awakenings might spark entirely new shifts in your behavior and how you perceive what's real. And this is where, by the time the moon is opposite Neptune, as it's passing currently Mercury retrograde, this reevaluation of your analysis is going to make due on crystallizing more elements that have been in front of your face the whole time, but you didn't see them as real. You didn't like this is gonna hit a lot home for you, for those of you who've been using your abilities but you don't see them as abilities. You might have convinced yourself, oh, I don't have powers like that. So like, you have been inducing elements of causality. You have been outright triggering coincidences, not knowing that they're not coincidences. These are not fantasy abilities. These are not mumbo jumbo spiritual bullshit powers. They're an extension of your own body, like your thoughts, your imagination, your psychic ability. It's basically that. So you're going to now register in, of course, your brain through your prefrontal cortex, the actuality and analysis of how you've never not been expressing these gifts, but now that they have evolved, there is a much stronger quality with which you can notice its expression and utilize its expression going into Capricorn season. So I really do hope you enjoy this. This rest of Virgo season is going to draw us back out to the moon in Sagittarius, where we started Virgo season, initially understanding the higher perspective of techniques we already out the gate started mastering. Well, now that we've finished and we're at the new moon, you're revisiting these techniques and you find out you're way better at it, versus when you just started and you got it, but there was still more you needed to master. It's mastered, bro. We've been talking about this for ages. We're here. This is part 1. Part 2 is going to be the final plot twist. Have faith in everything that you are creating. That, please remember, there's nothing that can limit you. Your imagination is limitless, and you can, I know, I need to brush my hair. Your imagination is limitless, and I can imagine my hair is and you can imagine it and make real anything you want to make real. The only limit is your capacity to doubt that you can even do it. Okay, so think about the new life you want to live, and let this new moon inspire you to already take action on that. You don't have to really do anything. You just have to be. All right. So you can write down a list. You could take a very practical approach to this. You can really write down what are 6 things today you can be, or 6 things today you can get started to really live this new routine. You can allow it to unfold for you over the next couple of days coming into the moon, because you're going to be really inspired with unconventional mechanics you might not have thought possible. And this is getting ready to activate this new change of behavior, the new behavioral patterns that you're going to bring into you to Libra season. You're going to bring with you to Libra season and take this new behavior and integrate it in your actions with other people. Let's get it. Playoffs, eclipse. And now that we've mastered these techniques, it's time for you to see what you're truly capable of. I think for some of you, it'll be the first time you really get a good look at, what your true skill set and level is. Y'all stay blessed as always. All right. Happy New Moon. Peace.